Long before David ever faced Goliath, fear had already taken hold of an entire nation. Israel was at war with the Philistines. The two armies were camped on opposite hills, with a valley between them. Instead of charging into battle, the Philistines sent out their champion, a warrior named Goliath, to face Israel alone. Goliath was enormous. He stood over 9 feet tall. He wore heavy bronze armor that weighed more than most men could carry, and his weapons were massive and terrifying. He had trained for war his entire life. Every morning and every evening, Goliath walked down into the valley and shouted the same challenge. He mocked Israel, he mocked their God. He demanded that they send one man to fight him. If that man won, the Philistines would serve Israel. But if Goliath won, Israel would serve the Philistines. Day after day, no one answered. Israel's soldiers were afraid. Their leaders were afraid. Even King Saul, who stood taller than any man in Israel and had once been courageous, was afraid. For 40 days, fear ruled the camp. During this time, a young shepherd named David was not on the battlefield. He was the youngest son in his family, watching sheep while his older brothers served in the army. David had no title, no armor, and no reputation as a warrior. One day, David's father Jesse sent him to the battlefield to bring food to his brothers and to check on how they were doing. David arrived just as the army was lining up for battle, and he heard Goliath shouting his insults across the valley. David listened carefully. What shocked him was not Goliath's size, but Israel's silence. David began asking questions. He wanted to know why no one had answered the challenge. He couldn't understand why this Philistine was allowed to defy the armies of the living God. People around him tried to quiet him. His own brothers became angry and embarrassed. They accused David of being proud and told him to go back home. But David wouldn't stop asking why no one trusted God enough to step forward. Eventually, word reached King Saul that a young man was willing to fight Goliath. David was brought before the king, and Saul immediately saw the problem. David was young, he had no battle experience. Saul told him plainly that he was not able to fight Goliath, who had been a warrior since his youth. David didn't argue with Saul. He didn't claim to be strong or skilled. Instead, he spoke about what God had already done in his life. He told Saul how he had protected his sheep from lions and bears. When danger came, David didn't run, and each time God delivered him. David's confidence wasn't in himself. It was in the God who had been faithful to him before. Saul finally agreed and tried to help David by giving him his own armor. He placed his helmet on David's head and gave him his sword. David tried to walk, but the armor was heavy and unfamiliar. He wasn't trained to fight that way, so David took it off. He chose not to pretend to be someone else. He chose to fight the way God had prepared him. David went down into the valley with only what he knew, a sling, 5 smooth stones, and faith in God. When Goliath saw David, he laughed. He was insulted that Israel would send a boy to fight him. He mocked David and cursed him. David didn't back down. He told Goliath that while Goliath came with sword and spear, he came in the name of the Lord. David made it clear that this battle wasn't about strength or weapons, but about who God was. Then David ran toward the giant. As he ran, he placed a stone in his sling, swung it, and released it. The stone struck Goliath in the forehead, and the giant fell face down on the ground. The enemy that Israel feared collapsed in a moment. When the Philistines saw their champion fall, they fled. Israel pursued them, and what once seemed like certain defeat became victory. David had trusted God when no one else would, and that trust changed everything. Now here is the lesson. David didn't win because he believed in himself. He won because he believed in God. Israel didn't lose confidence because Goliath was too strong. They lost confidence because they forgot who God was. This story teaches us that God often prepares people in quiet, unseen places before using them in moments that matter. David learned courage while protecting sheep. He learned faith when no one was watching. And because he was faithful in small things, he was ready when the test came. God does not ask us to be fearless. He asks us to trust him. He does not ask us to be perfect. He asks us to be willing. When we choose obedience over comfort, faith over fear, and trust over control, God can work through us in ways we never imagined, not because we are strong, but because he is. And that is why the story of David and Goliath still matters today.